All right. Yeah. So welcome to Netrich Foundation's monthly webinar. I think we can start now, and I would like to welcome Shridev Ramajit for this presentation, and then and also I would like to ask Pujani Pathaner to give a brief introduction on this Netrich, and then as well as about the speaker. Pujani, over to you.
Thank you, Prasad. Can I hear me? Can I hear? Prasad?
Yes.
Okay. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to our webinar on Introduction AI and Future Challenges. Today we have the honor of hearing an esteemed guest speaker who will be sharing their insight and expertise on this critical topic. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Srideep for the and also he is on BBs and member of the. He is passionate about human rights, online activism, and awareness related issues that affect the masses. We are also privileged to have all of your presence and participation to your commitment to using technology.
Yeah, I think her line is really, the internet connection is really, poor. So I'm not sure, how much far that you heard. But Shrideep, I would like to welcome for this webinar, and just I will give you a little bit of introduction of what is netrich is. So we started this Netrich Foundation for the purpose of. I think she's back, but Pujani, I think your audio is really poor.
Okay, that's I hear some connection issue.
Yeah, so I will just explain about netrich. Yeah,
Prasad,
so
I have. Okay, you explain.
yes, yeah. So we started netrich with the idea of promoting internet in Sri Lanka. Plus, the main focus is basically the connectivity. So how we can reach, or how we can bring the digital divide down by making sure that everyone has access to the fair internet. So even we are in 5G, 4G, technologies, but still in the coverage of internet connection is not sufficient enough to cover the entire island. So with that, there are lots of difficulties people are facing, especially students during the COVID, and as well as now we have lots of online classes that so people are getting really issues on connecting to the internet. So our main focus is to how to connect the entire island to internet. So we have several plans of connecting with our the telecom providers, and so how we can go about this. And apart from that, we will be doing monthly webinars on various topics, as well as some school programs on internet and then the latest technologies. So without further ado, I would like to ask Shridev to start his session. Shridev, over to you. And then so thank you.
Thank you, Disalva. And then can somebody watch into the room as well? A lot of people are coming in, so if somebody could manage that, it would be more comfortable.
Sure.
Okay. So let me give you a brief introduction about myself. I'm Sridip Rayamaji from Nepal. I've been working as a journalist turned a policy researcher, an internet governance enthusiast. And I've been involved with APSIC, that is AP Asia Pacific School of Internet Governance, where my interest for AI, artificial intelligence, got more into action. And I started doing research about what AI is, what AI governance is, but it was more in the APSIC that we discussed about what IoT governance and AI governance is all about, and how it is important for lower economies. I mean to say countries like ours, which are developing, where we have to talk about these upcoming issues and how it can create a better understanding in facilitating as well as mitigating the whole issue. I've been involved with APSIC from 2016 to 2019, and I was the general secretary, the first general secretary of Asia Pacific School of Internet Governance. And my interest with artificial intelligence is I have done, research about the AI future challenges and perspectives. And recently I have taken out a paper on AI governance framework of Nepal, and I am sharing you my thoughts and expertise in consideration to that. And I am still a learner. I'm also learning about the things, and with AI, like with all the development that is happening, it is more about how we can collaborate, learn, and understand all, because it is ever evolving. There cannot be a fixed expert for AI, because the way we look at it from our perspective, from the community side, is completely different from what people look at it from technical side, and what people look at it from policy making side. So these things are completely different, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to share my experience and the knowledge that I have. And if you have any question, please do raise your hand in the in the chat box, and then we'll probably look into that. So let's start the presentation. So first, introduction about AI and future challenges. And as I mentioned, I'm a journalist and policy researcher, turned an AI enthusiast, a learner. I'm still learning, so please bear with me. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to Pushpa and all the group of Netrich Foundation. It is a great pleasure to be here and to share my knowledge and to create that collaboration, because I think it is more about sharing knowledge and growing and collaborating with people, and then we can represent Asia in a more impactful way. So getting back to the presentation. Okay, so we talked about AI, right? I mean to say, we have heard about what the real definition of AI is. AI as an acronym stands for artificial intelligence. But when we go and search about AI in the internet, then we get different definitions. Like the first definition that we have here is artificial intelligence is a machine ability to perform the cognitive function usually associated with human minds. Whereas there is another definition down below where which is put in by Googling. So Google defines artificial intelligence is a set of technologies that enable computers to perform a variety of advanced functions, including the ability to see, understand, and translate spoken, written language, and analyze data, make recommendations, and more. So, when you look at these two definitions, you will see the perspective behind it. So when the McKinsey, the first definition, McKinsey and Company defines AI, it defines AI according to more of a human approach, to a research approach, to a more that with its own understanding of societal approach. So that is a more human-based approach. Whereas if you look at the Google Incorporation's definition, it is more about technology. It is more about problem solving. So these two definitions are defined in their own perspective by their own organization in their own work field. So this is something that we from the lower developing economies first have to understand the definition of AI. What is an AI? An AI is is simply a form of a system that is designed to help human beings to do more simpler or to do more efficient, problem solving. So presentation. Okay, next slide. So it is that perspective where it matters about where the definition is coming from or where the perspective is being laid out from. So now when we talk about that, so first we got to know the definition, right? The definition is coming from a specific specific sector or specific technical field, or where it is coming from. So that is where matters. Now the second is definition and understanding of AI. So in the first column we have the green zone, in the second we have the blue zone, and in the third we have the red zone. The green zone represents innovation and research, education sector, and entrepreneurship. So it's all about efforts. It's all about knowledge searching. It's all about learning. In the middle, the blue zone stands for business side. It is more about investment. It is more about taking benefits, creating opportunities. Whereas if you look at on the third zone, the red zone, it is more about rights, policies, government sector, civil society. So why have I kept it in these three different zones? These three zones are there because these things are these sectors are supposed to react according to their own advantages. Because an education sector has to work on the values. The innovation and research has to be done. The entrepreneurship, they have to step up and take the knowledge and further work it on. And then the business side has to be created. The private sector has to step in. The technical sector has to put in more efforts. And then once it's done, then the rights and the policies has to be made. The government has to step in, the civil society. But now, if you look at our hemisphere, I mean to see the Asian hemisphere, we have been getting all these propagandas about AI. What is artificial intelligence? We see all these movies. A lot of our policymakers are scared of it. I mean to say, they don't want to hear it. The only thing that they want to do is, block it. We don't want AI. Do not discuss about it. These kind of attitudes have been creating a major challenge in the sector, right? Because if you don't let AI innovate, things are not going to grow. We are not going to have efficient systems. We are not going to have an efficient system to solve problems. We are not going to have more better computers, right? And if you look at the whole design as well, the whole thing is, Facebook has been using AI. TikTok has been using AI. All these platforms have been using AI. Even Google search has been using AI since ages. You search something and your profile is put in there and your data are stored, and then you are given out the feedbacks. That has been happening since ages. Now with all the big data connected, I mean to say, things are moving on greatly. I mean to say, recently I was using TikTok and something happened. My expression changed, and the level of TikToks started changing. Right? Just try it on, and you will know. Maybe it's a good side, maybe it's on the bad side, but it is more about understanding yourself, understanding your policies, and understanding how you want to use the policies, right? So it has to be driven by that. But in our case, I mean, this especially in this Asian sector, nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody's scared about what AI is. Either we are too scared saying, okay, our data is being used. We kind of like see AI has its own good part as well as bad side as well. So it has to be used. The good side has to be used for innovation, research, business, everything. And the bad side has to be cut in by government. The policies have to be made by them. But that cannot be done without making a proper system, without understanding the issues. If we are pushing aside the artificial intelligence definition, the perspective, then things cannot change. Things will not step up. So the best way to start is to start talking. about what AI is, how it is being used. Because recently we have heard news about how Facebook was trialed in by the parliamentarians, and there has been a lot of cases that has happened, especially in regards to the data's use. But in our side of the world, we don't know what our data is being done with. Our data are being collected, but the government doesn't feel that is important. Because nobody has any idea about what is happening. And I think it is this side that has created a disadvantage for us, because the propagandas were thrown at us. I mean to say, propagandas were thrown at us saying, okay, these AI things are very bad, but look at the use of AI. In developed countries, they are using driverless vehicles. They are using cashless systems. Amazon Go. I was recently there in US. I saw the Amazon Go. You don't need to even carry anything. It's just your account. Once you entered it, you can fully go in, shop around, come back. Everything is being done. You are being charged on your account, and everything is settled. You don't even need to take out anything. It's just a form of recognition. Once you do that, it's done. So that is what an advantage is. But where we are going is completely different. We are completely hesitant, saying it will take over our world. It will completely create a nuisance. It will completely create all these things. We are not thinking that it's I have this saying about internet. Internet is like a knife, right? Internet is like a knife. You give the knife, you use it in your knife, and you have it in the knife in your home. But you have to teach your children about how to use the knife, right? So those values have to put in. Just like that, artificial intelligence is also like a knife. It has to be it has to be given the advantage. It has to be secured, and it has to be used according to a certain system where we have to step in. If we don't step in, things won't move. Just like ours, in especially this side of the world, we don't want to talk about AI. We don't want to talk about things that are happening with AI. I'm more about talking about the policy side. I'm more talking about the user consumer side. So this is where the whole impact is. Because technically, if you start talking about AI, then AI is all about what the algorithms and what it is defined, how it is defined, right? So now the third slide. Okay. So now the third slide, we talk about core values of AI. So what are the core values of AI? There are like different texts that you find all over the internet about what AI is, how it is being managed, and what are the things that should be considered. But this is a standard version of definition core values that is defined by UNESCO that are picked here. The first one says human rights and human dignity, respect, protection, and promotion of human rights and fundamental freedom and human dignity. And it clearly defines. There is like a 2 or 3 pages long definition that is there. You can go in and look into it, look into the document about how it defines the AI core values. And the second one talks about living in peace and just an interconnected society. So there is more about development. There is more about learning about technologies, about creating that peaceful boundaries, because AI has more advantage, and it should have those values where it should not cross those boundaries, where things can go out of control. That's why all these countries, we need to have a standing position for AI, right? And we have not even started, and there are countries which have exceeded the line. There are countries which are standing there talking about more progressive forms of AI, more progressive challenges of AI, more progressive systems, opportunities of AI. But we are still struggling to define what AI is, how we are going to process it, and we are being victimized because we don't have any position. Facebook uses AI within us. but we don't have even have the perspective to understand that. So that is the challenge. I think that is the major challenge, especially in developing countries. It is more about how we are going to talk about the AI and how we are going to talk about the developments that are happening in and around South Asia or, in Asia. The development has to start. The talks have to start. If we don't start the talks, things are not going to move ahead. It's a smaller part of the thing. So the third one is ensuring diversity and inclusiveness. So these are the basic things that has been defined in that particular charter. So it is there. The link is also there. So once this is done, you can go through and you can see it and understand. And the fourth one is environment and ecosystem flourishing. So environment and ecosystem flourishing in the sense of collaborating, creating a better environment, help sharing the world, creating a better world, because artificial intelligence was created for the benefit of the people, for creating efficient things, for speeding up. So we are going to talk more about that in the coming slides that is there. And please, if you have any questions, please do raise your hand and we'll probably look into that later as well. You can have it in the chat as well, because a lot of the people will have a discussion. And as I said, these topics are very common topics. There is no expertise in discussing all these topics, because these are more policy oriented topics. These topics are more related to people. These topics are more related to individual people's right. So people have to speak, people have to talk about all these things. So now, we are going to talk about what the importance of AI is. So I'm going, more fast in this, because in the later on, I did a certain smaller report. I did prepare a report, and I did a survey, and in that, those are the things that I want to probably we want to focus more about. These are smaller things. So 7 important benefits of AI. Efficiency. It creates efficiency. It's like doing 10 problems at a time. So the cognitive process is very high. Improve speed, new capabilities, better customer service, improve monitoring, better quality, better talent management. So if you have noticed or not, if you look at the 90s, the 20s, and now, the difference with AI is, in the 90s and the 20s, it was more about the AI is going to take over the world, this blah blah shit, all everything, right? But today, if you look at the today's situation, then you will understand, the way our people from our side of the world is taking up how people are taking up AI. A lot of the people who are working with programming, a lot of the people who are developing all these algorithms are from Asia. So this thing has to be understood and has to work on by us, developing those core values, because these, if a person who understands what human rights is, develops those codes or those algorithms, then he or she will be entitled to those values. So that is the basic objective of how we should, mitigate all these problems. Because as I said earlier, AI was a problem, a challenge in the past, but right now a lot of the people, young, a lot of the tech people are working on it. They are creating bots, they are creating things, all these things, they are integrating systems. So all these algorithms are being introduced, used, but what they don't have is, first number, they don't have core values. They don't have proper policies. There is no policies because our government fails to recognize it as a challenge. Our government thinks that, by shutting it down, by not talking about it, it's done, closed. So I think there is a bigger side where the civil society should step in and start talking, not the negative side, but the positive side. Let's start talking about AI. Let's start talking about what Facebook was doing in our countries according to our laws, right? Because those laws are different. So that is where the challenge is. And these, if you don't mitigate those, gaps, those divides, then things are gonna get, shady. Because A person with knowledge, a person without a knowledge, there's a big difference in the same person doing the things. A person with knowledge will never create a hassle or a threatening situation, but a person without a knowledge, knowingly or unknowingly, he or she will create a problem or challenge. So that is where the the basic, the core values, the challenge lies, that how we are gonna take the AI into action. So I'm gonna more talk about few of the importances of AI. So these are the general importances that are taken from the web. So it is more like AI, artificial intelligence, is significantly important in revolutionizing various aspects of our society: automation and efficiency, decision making. A lot of the decisions are being made. If you talk about vehicle system, if you talk about personal care systems, they have developed watches that can call system. So healthcare advancement, improvements. They have designed technologies. They have used it in devices that can further predict things, that can take actions. So these growth are always been eminent to the human growth, and this is the reason why human being, from our origin, we are not like, we have always been in that development mood. We were never satisfied. We always wanted to learn more. We always wanted to progress. It is a common quality all over the world. It is not just from the developed nation side, but from our side as well. We have always put our efforts toward creating a better world. We have always created that effort towards collaboration, towards bringing the unheard voices to light. So why is it that we are creating such a mess? Why is it that we have so much of all these issues that is created? This is because of the control. This is because of the lack of understanding, the gap that we have created. This is the whole power chain system, psychological system of controlling, and it is something that we, from individual countries, we have to represent. We have to talk. We have to put our standing. We have to stand and speak about what our countries believe in. We cannot just be given some values and said, okay, work on it. Okay, we will work on it, but we will adjust according to it, because it is our culture, it is our values, and it is our system that we work on, that we live in. It is not, I always say this: the internet is popular and has become so much, not just because they created it. It is popular and it is so famous because we spread it. We are part of it. We are spending money on it. That is the reason why it has grown. That is the reason why it is, today, a lot of the money is spent in awareness and capacity building. Why? Because the gaps are coming from outside. There will be a lot of issues from outside, right? And there is no skipping to it, because the next billion is coming from either from Asia or either from Africa. It's not coming from the developed nation. It is done. They are already, saturated. But the next business, and with that, the business side is also coming. So the more money is coming from our world, from Asia, from Africa. That is the reason why there is more money spent in our region regarding these things, regarding capacity building. And we need to work on this. We're talking about healthcare system. The advancement are growing, enhance safety, innovation, research, economic growth. So there has been system that has been that has been created. Earthquake alert system. Recently, there was an earthquake that happened in Nepal, right? But it happened somewhere in remote location. But a lot of the alert messages started coming. It was knowingly or unknowingly. It started to come. It was generated with AI algorithms. We don't realize it, but it is in use. It is highly efficiently in use, right? So we have to understand this, and we have to further try to mitigate, or try to address this within our countries, within our perspectives, and that's where we will how we will make the difference. And innovation and research, we need to do that according to our countries, according to our system, according to our people. We have to manage it, and for that we need innovation, we need research, and we have to adjust that technology within our system. So now the infrastructure connectivity, the importance is done. Now challenges. What are the challenges of AI? Infrastructure and connectivity. That's a huge challenge. That has always been a challenge, especially in the developing and lower economies. I always like to say lower economy. They have given this term developing, but for countries like ours, we're still trying to work on their infrastructures. We are still trying to work on our connectivity, where we are still, not don't stand. I mean to say, we are taking connections, and then it is very hard for us, right? So it is very hard, and especially for countries lower economies, the skilled talent is very important. And to this day, things are changing. Things are changing. People are going up. People from Asia are leading those things now. People are stepping. Previously, it used to be all from the developed nation. Now, people from developing nations are doing their magic. Asia is all about creating those collaborations, creating those different magical things about, how we can make technology, how we can develop things. So that has always been an advantage of Asian people. So, and the cost of implementation. Cost of implementation is very important, because a lot of the times it is very hard for us to buy hardware, to buy software, to give trainings. So with all this environment today, it is kind of like creating a facilitating environment, and we are further creating that, and it is growing. So where did we go? The challenges of data quality and availability. For AI to work, we need quality data. We need those data have to be in a standard format. And if you look at the current tendency, all our governments are going to EE data. Everything is converted. Our driving license are e-converted. I mean, just electronically converted. Our voting data are converted. Everything is converted. These data have to be aligned in a certain way. Cultural and linguistic diversity. These things matter, because at the end of the day, it is all about the grassroots communities that face the problems, that face the challenges with the integration. So these are very important. And there is this big question about job displacement, and to some extent it is a real thing about how AI will displace, but a lot of the times it is more about an adaptation and learning process, where a lot of these things are happening due to lack of knowledge and lack of adjustment. So if there is proper capacity building, awareness raising is done, then things like these don't happen. So next slide is security and cybersecurity. So the thing about security and cybersecurity is the AI system has become more integrated. So in a lot of the challenges are with the gaps, because a lot of the countries that have the advantage kind of like create those gaps, find out, identify those, but try to use those against the other who are not that qualified, or who are not using it. So that is a major challenge in terms of cybersecurity. Environmental impact. Energy consumption and carbon footprint is something that has always grown, and I mean to say, it is some part of the advantage of the side, the other side of the advantage, that if there is a certain opportunity and certain advantage that is created, there is always a negative side and other aspect as well. So these are more connective issues. And in the previous slide also we talked about the different perspective and definition of AI, and it's all about that multi-stakeholder engagement that is needed. AI cannot just be AI policies or AI standard documents cannot be drafted just by one agency or one stakeholder. It needs to be looked at from all sides, where interpretation, effectiveness, and adjustment to mitigation has to be addressed. And if it is created in such a way, only then AI governance can be, full AI governance can be ensured. So basically, what is AI governance? AI governance refers to the set of principles, rules, policies, and practices that guides the development, deployment, and use of artificial intelligence technologies. It encompasses a wide range of consideration to ensure that AI systems are developed and employed responsibly, ethically, and in a manner that aligns with societal values and needs. It clearly says what to do, how to do, when to do it. Just imagine a developed nation has everything defined. Our developing countries, lower economies, I like to call it lower economies like ours, don't have anything definition. So, we are always on the verge of being exploited. We are always in the verge of being mishandled because we don't have those standard definitions. Whereas if you look at the skilled labor, it is growing. It is growing. A lot of the software industry, especially on our side of the world, is taking a lead. Whereas if you look at the policy side, it is still the same. Policy side, it is not upgraded, but at software upgrading, all these things, usability things, it is growing. Even for us, even for local person, we understand what the uses of Facebook, how Facebook is using our data, or how Google is showing the ads as per your searches. Right? If you search something like medical, it starts to show all those ads of medical related products. Or if you start to search something like pregnancy, all those pregnancy related advertisements are shown. So it has been happening from years. The only thing that we are not entitled to is it's just the standardization of the issues. It's just the standardization of the policies. And I don't know, recently when I was doing that research, I had gone through a paper of the Singaporean government had created a white paper about AI, and that was one of the most simplest paper. And you can search it; it is there, and you can go through it. The way they have took AI is an example to the world. It is not about what negativity that you can bring in, but it is more about what can be done to facilitate the process, to incorporate it within the system. Don't be hesitant enough thinking about the losses. Feel the opportunity. Just imagine 10 years, 20 years back, AI was like something like in the movies, the propagandas, everything. But look at now, the developed nation. Look at now, look at them using AI. It is amazing. And the way we look at it is something very different. Our technologies, our things, we are also using the same Facebook that they are using. We are also using the same computers, laptops, iPads, iPhone that they are using. But what is the difference? The difference is here in the mind. The difference is, our blood is also red, their blood is also red. It's just the skin type. They are white, we are brown, we are black. What makes that a different? No, nothing. It's just the understanding. It's just a perspective. It's just a way of looking at things. It's just the perspective of understanding the opportunity. We see challenges, they see opportunities. That is the difference. And that's where, I even for myself, I developed a paper because our government was not doing it. So I went in, I looked for it, and I started doing research about what the AI governance framework is all about. And I think even at your site, if you are a teacher, start. Even I'm a lecturer. I teach e-business in my country for bachelor's and master's level. So I've started talking about all these issues. I incorporate these things. I tell them. I simplify. These issues are better when it's simplified. When you talk technically, it is very hard. But when you simplify, the standardization process come in action. People understand, people relate, people give solution. And policy making, we have this very thing in Asia that policy making is so big, all these big people come in. No, policy making is all about challenges and problems of people. It's not a bigger thing. It is just a consensus building process. It's what we want. It is what our voices are. But it is made in such a way where our when leaders, they have lack of understanding and they create it in a more wrong way. They create it as if it's something like a burden. Policy is there to be implemented. Policy is there to be looked in. So those are the issues, and those are the things. So yeah, we were talking about AI governance. So AI governance framework is all about the need, the ways and the practices around the world. So that is the reason why it has to be open. It cannot be limited. It has to adopt international standards, because it will affect your country, because the next generation of warfare is not about fighting it with guns. The next level of generation of cyber warfare and things are like with the internet, with the control of internet, with making an impact on what ideas and what standing we have and how we are going to create our identities in the world, standing as a leader from Asia or standing as a leader from Sri Lanka or Nepal or India or China or wherever. We need to step up. We need to develop those core values. Our countries, people are not doing it. Our leaders are not doing it. Let it be. But we have to start talking about what AI governance is. We have to start talking about things that are important to us. Only then things will change. So as I mentioned you earlier, that I did a research about what AI perspective and challenges. So in that particular survey research, I came up with all these recommendations that, what are the things that especially in the developing economies, people are trying to know. So the first thing was better awareness and capacity campaign about AI for developing and lower economies, participation and inclusion for all. This has been a major hurdle, especially in countries like ours, where the government rules in, whereas public people's voice is all about inclusion. It is all about representation, and it is all about diversity. And there's a big difference in these terminologies. When we talk about multi-stakeholder engagement, we talk about the bottoms-up approach. So that means the people who have not had their voices, they have to be stepped up. Only then the inclusion happens. Once the inclusion is there, only then the representation can happen. Once the representation happens, only then the diversity can happen. So that is the main agenda, main thing. And just imagine all these policies, everything is being made in the world today. Are we participating? No. Are we having a stand in terms of Asia? Are we having a stand in terms of smaller country? Are we having, because our countries, we have our own language, we have our own jurisdiction, we have our own laws. This makes a huge impact. This makes a huge difference. And the next challenge for the world is about standardization, is about creating that common perspective or common definition about how we are going to create that standard for everyone, because this is the challenge. Various layers of governance model need to be adopted. It has to be. It has to be. One layer is not is not enough. The government needs to understand what a technical community wants. The government needs to understand what the education, the advantage is that, because education field is something that does all the research, where, and all the innovation happens with the entrepreneurs. So these things have to be collaborated. Private sector needs, it brings in the funds, it brings in the advantages, it brings in the opportunity. So these things have to be considered. Better research survey are required, especially in our region where we don't consider data as important. Data are very, very, very important. It's upon our data that these companies are today standing in top. I mean to say, just imagine, where would Google be without our data? Would they survive? Would they become a $1 billion company? No, it is our data, our big data that they have collected. And that is the reason why they are standing in billions. That is a very simple thing to understand. Multi-stakeholder concept to be adopted. This is a major challenge, where in our communities we don't give voices. When it comes to giving stakeholders, recognizing people, it is very, 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 very low, and it is very small. It is nowhere to be heard. You just go to any other country's practice, they will leave behind things. It's just the way, we speak more, they listen more. That is the difference. The developed nation, they have more, their leaders listen more, our leaders speak more. It is happening due to lack of values. It is happening due to lack of understanding. It is happening due to lack of standardization. They don't understand. This is I have seen this, that a lot of the communities, delegates go to different meetings, especially to UNESCO, UN, and I see a lot of those leaders taking in groups of people. Do you know what they do? They go there and they go back to their own communities. They don't stay with the outside communities. They don't try to learn things from. They are sent to all these meetings to learn, get the knowledge, go back, change. It's as simple as that. What we do, our communities people do, they go to their own people. They enjoy that. And we have to learn things from these developed nations. We have to understand their voice. We have to put our voices in their way. That is a major thing. Standardization of core values for adaptation and mitigation strategy. This is very important. The values that are being thrown at us is just a value. We have to acclimatize it. We have to mitigate those values. We have to develop those values according to our values, where our jurisdiction matters, where our laws matter. That has been a greater challenge, especially in Asia. We have this communication barrier. And with this communication barrier, the overall challenge is we accept everything that other people say to us. We don't put our voices because we have communication barriers, and that has been a major challenge. We need to speak up our issues. Sri Lankan problems have to be represented by a Sri Lankan man, not by an Asian man or somebody who is like read a report. No, Sri Lankan issues has to be represented by a Sri Lankan person. Just because Asia has a bigger hemisphere and there is a bigger country there doesn't mean their voice counts. Asia has to be represented by all countries in the Asia region. That is what the importance is, and that is where the whole dynamics of today's politics lie. That we need to breed our leaders. We need to create those values in our leaders, so that we can represent, so that we can develop the systems according to our culture, so that it has to be adopted, right? So AI needs proper vision and proper set of human values. That is already there. We have to adjust it according to our cultures, according to our languages, according to our things. AI requires collaborative vision, just like multi-stakeholder approach. It needs a collaborative approach from all sectors about how we are going to create that system and how we are going to facilitate the government. It's all about government protecting the people from what is wrong, but it should not be like government protecting the people from the wrong. The people should have the right to choose, right? Once that is defined clearly, only then things can work more properly. Trust is an important component which requires better commitment and communication. So this is also a common language, because in a lot of our countries, the multi-stakeholder engagement lacks, and due to that, a lot of the times the government is more used to saying no, saying shutting it down. Whereas the government should be the facilitator. It is the regulator. It is certainly there to protect us from all that is wrong. But it also has to grow to a point where it has to give voices to other stakeholders as well, understanding their needs, their benefits, their opportunities, creating their opportunities. Because ultimately, we are the government. We are the public. People are the government. It's our voices. So why is it against us? Not of the times. Why is it against us in terms of freedom of expression? It is our government. It is us being represented by our people. And still we are being rigid because there is a gap. That gap has to be, contextually, it has to be removed with the process of multi-stakeholderism, with the process of engagement, with the process of collaboration, with the process of learning, with the process of sharing, with the process of, it has to be done from all sides. Collaborate towards lessening the digital divide. Digital divide has always been a challenge, especially in developing and lower economies. It is those challenges that create those gaps, and there is a problem. So I'm not looking into any. Okay, so those are the things. And AI in its developing stage, confining its limitation will hamper. This is a very important aspect of where we are trying to move, because the most important thing in artificial intelligence is innovation, research. If we are not innovating, if we are not researching, then we cannot create limitations. Then we cannot, control it. Right? It has to be done from our side, and that's where the Asia lacks. Asia lacks in, in research. You know, we kind of like are creating those confinements with our limited limitations, that it is, we are already a victim. I mean to say, we use all those technologies. We are giving our data. We don't know how it will be used. Let me give you an example of something that happened here in Nepal. A few years back, one of my friends' account was hacked. So I was I asked the Facebook with the police. I mean, to say, in coordination with the police, asked them to return my account, and it took me around 2 months, because we had no contact office here in Nepal, and officially also, they could see what happened, but they didn't, right? So these kind of smaller cases, like how the phishing was done, how things were managed, but they have their whole system. They, within a press of a button, they know who's doing what and who's not doing what, because they have the details. They have all the details. Even the things that you have deleted is still can be downloaded. And if you have tried it or not, it is there. Your chat messages, your photos that you have deleted will still be there. That is the power of the system, and it is being saved in such a way that it will further be used. So that is the system, and that is the way it is being used. So I think I am about to end. I have talked my way. So if there are any questions, I would love to hear the questions. If you have any questions regarding, if you want to share your experience, because it's more about learning from all the sides and how we need to create an impact with this, how we need to create a voice for Asia. That is more what counts. And at community level, a lot of awareness, a lot of resources are there. If you want to see the resources, you can just do a Google search. There are like free courses. Even Google has a lot of the resources available in their websites. So please do look into that. Even with fake news, yes, yes, that is true. But Prasad, thank you for this question. We love ChatGPT, yes, but the way ChatGPT is, hampering people, it's completely creating that sense of in for plagiarism with the AI. That is a challenge. And let me tell you, previously in back days when we used to check for correct English, now a time has come when people will be checking for wrong English because it is considered human. Now a search for humanity is there, right? So if you are looking for more perfect, you'll probably doubt it. Because I myself am have done some fellowship evaluations, and in a lot of those applications we received 100% plagiarism. It's done. People have stopped using their brains. What they do is they just, you know yes, yes, but it should be used in a more effective way, where AI should be helping you to further get more better skills, right? But it is working in the other way around. So that is the reason why now we are more looking into contents that have mistakes, right? So that to prove it is human. So now we are on the back journey of going back to the Stone Age, where we will be looking more towards our mistakes and trying to figure out, okay, because okay, if there is a mistake, only then it's human, or else it is not. So time is coming, but it should be something like an added bonus. We need to improve those values where we have to, more do some awareness capacity building, telling people about what plagiarism is all about, how it can hamper you, how it hampers others' business, and what is the wrong thing about it. It kills. ChatGPT is killing creativity. ChatGPT is killing, and a system cannot portray human emotions. A system cannot be a human, content. So that is where, and that is also creating the importance of human content as well, right? On one side it is creating that advantage, but on the other side it is also creating that disadvantage of how a perfect content can make a difference. So if you have any question, please raise your hand or unmute your mic and share your experience, because it's all learning. We all are sharing, we all are learning, we all need to step up. So true, so true. Yes, yes. AI has its advantage. I mean to say AI, to some extent, no. There are certain frameworks that has been created. AI governance is something like depends. Like UNESCO has created a certain charter about ethics and things that has to be developed by a country or about its positions, right? So all these international organizations will create a certain standard version, and then we from our countries, we need to step up to work on our framework about these standards, adopting these standards in for the benefit of the people. Any more questions or any more sharing? Okay, so thank you for listening to me. I guess we have crossed our time. Can we use an AI in the QuickBooks? I didn't get this whole aspect question. Kaniska, Kaniska, can you
Yeah,
please?
I think Shradeep, QuickBooks is accounting software.
Okay, okay, right,
So
right,
so can we
right, right.
use AI for predicting and for those accounting work?
Till the time, it depends. It's upon how you're gonna use things, right? If it's not hampering anyone other, if it's creating a efficient system, if it's helping you do something better, you know, I think it is good. If it's not creating that aspect, but always, always understand. I come from this work, this line of writing where we believe in giving credit to people who have done things right. So, plagiarism. Okay. So, I'm able to understand in such a way, right? So always use it for your advantage, use it for to learn, use it to create better opportunities, use it to create a more better thing. Yes, Minol, can you unmute and ask the question?
Yeah, sorry. Actually, these my little ones. I had to move out, so I'm carrying the phone and little one's name appearing. My name is Samira. Just maybe I think you said that you are doing some research, interesting stuff. Thank you very much for your presentation. Now this I think the Asian countries and even other countries, what we are working on is a lot of legislations on online security, data privacy, and in all those. In the era of AI, what would happen to those legislations, like maybe would that be continue to be valid, or we have to sort of relook at all those? What is your kind of opinion on that?
Thank you for that's a very smart question. That's a very smart question because AI itself is those things will be integrated. That is the reason why we are talking about standardization. That is the reason why we are talking about standardization issues. Everything will come under it. Anything copied will be copied, right? Anything that is there to be copied can be copied, right? Just like a free content. So develop the technologies, right? But the interpretation can be different. In your country, things can be different. In my country, things are different. In the whites country, it is common for them to, do things, right? For us, even drinking can be prohibited. In a lot of the Muslim countries, drinking is not open. So those things will be there. Those things will always be there. Those things will come under it, right? It will be. That is the reason. That is the very importance that all these gaps need to be sorted, right? If our government has a standing position about AI, then things can be aligned. Cybersecurity can be aligned within it, right? There can be attacks that can happen with the use. So in those cases, it can have a certain mechanism to deal with it, right? So that is the more standard. It is more about creating a bigger absorbing thing, and AI will further absorb everything. But right now we are in a situation of chaos, right? Because we just have all these smaller things. We are still stuck. Even Nepal, if you talk about Nepal, we don't have cyber policies. So we are still stuck with that. We are not even able to talk about that, and we are like already being used with, Facebook. So just imagine the challenges that we have. So now we can only relate with the cybersecurity issues. We cannot have issues with artificial intelligence related, challenges. So it has to be collaborated. It has to be, that is the reason why the multi-stakeholder engagement is important. That's how we are going to grow. That's a very, very smart and a very good question. Thank you for that. You know, and this is the way we are gonna work with our way out. Just like creating a country. Inside the country, there are the different communities. Inside the communities, there are different people, and inside the people, there are specific identities. So just like that, it will work like that. But just having few people without the thing, without the whole tag of the country, you know, you will not even have a proper identity, right? So that is the clearest way to understand it. And that is the gap. Just look at it. That is the problem here that we are facing. You know, we are using the same technology, like, you know, a person using an iPhone in US and a person using an iPhone in Nepal or Sri Lanka. It's the same technology, but the implications are different, right? We are using the same technology, same mindset, same, I mean to say mindset in the set, in the sense that, you know, our brains are also that effective that we can use the technology, right? But our law doesn't, their law does. That is the difference, right? If there is any breach that happened with something with the artificial intelligence, we are not be able to do anything. So thank you. If there are any more questions, please.
Yeah, I saw that Minol has a question. Minol, if you want, you can please.
Minol did. Okay.
Is it Minol or?
No, he did ask. Minol did ask.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for listening to me. You know, it was a great opportunity. Please do connect in LinkedIn, or, you know, you know, join me in other different community engagement that happens. You know, and please do say, if I meet you, please always say hi to me. I'm available in the Asia Pacific region. I'm affiliated with a lot of the groups. So it was a pleasure talking to you, sharing my views. Thank you all. I would probably like to in the meeting.
Yeah,
So
Shradeep, so before you go, I would like to say thanks to everyone who joined this call, and then Shradeep, especially you joined as foreign speaker. So that's the first one. So we have done from netrich Foundation. So we are very pleased to have you. And again, thanks everyone from netrich Foundation, the members, organizers, so who organize this event as well. And so before you go, you know, since we are online, and I think uh, uh, you give me your access to share my screen, and then
okay, let me. I cannot find you. I don't know how to
yeah,
use
I
this.
think
You have made me a host, right? Okay, let me check. People.
you can click on the three dots beside my yeah, I think make me a host.
Yeah, it's sometimes very tricky to make a host. Okay. Yes.
Okay,
They have made you.
let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, share. All right, yeah. So I would like
Oh,
to
thank
give
you.
you a token of
Thank you.
appreciation, Shudip, because this is the only way we can actually give you, like because when we are online, so we will officially send you this one later on. But
Oh, no.
yeah, from Netrich Foundation, so would like to give you a big applause to your, contribution, and then thank you very much. And then participants, if you have any follow-up questions, you can email us, and then we can then send that to Shridev. And then so we will be hosting a few more sessions in coming months. So please stay tuned. So please do like our Facebook page, and then we will be posting our events as well. Again, so thanks a lot for your time today in a Sunday evening, and then I know everyone is busy. Yeah, so
අපේ
Sujani, go
අපේ
ahead.
සිංහලනොත් මේ හැම මාසෙම වෙබිනා එකක් කරනවා අපිට ලැන්ග්වේජ් ඉෂුව එක තියෙන නිසා සිංහලයකුත් අපි කරනවා ඒ නිසා හැමෝම ජොයින් වෙන්න ෆොරින් එකයි සිංහල එකයි
Okay, yeah. So what she's mentioned is we are going to do some events in Sinhalese as well. The people who join foreign speakers. All right, then. Hey, thanks a lot to your time again, and then so you'll have a great rest of the evening, and then so we'll talk to you again in soon. All right, thanks a
Thank
lot.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm just continuing. Thank you.
All right, bye for now.